Hello students, I welcome you once again to today's online tutorial. In our last class, we discussed on this same topic, limited liability company. So today we'll be looking at the concluding parts of this very topic. Now, there are some things that was discussed in last class. Here we look at the meaning of company, the types of company. We also look at the formation of company, sources of capital of some of these companies. Today we'll be looking at the concluding part of it. I made mention of some of the documents that are required for the formation of this company. So today we'll look at some of these documents. As well, I made mention of shares, stock, and debenture. So let's just go further and have more ideas about them. Our objective for today's class: 1. To explain the following: Memorandum of Association, B. Article of Association, Certificate of Incorporation, and Certificate of Trading. To define share, define stock, and lastly to differentiate between share and stock. Talking about Memorandum of Association, it is one of the documents that are required for the formation of a company. It is a document that contains the rules and regulations that governs the external relationship of a company with outsiders. A company is an artificial person, okay? It has that legal status known as when you can that enables you to refer to as a legal entity which can sue and be sued. So a company on itself has the rules that governs its relationship with the outsider. So some of the documents, some of the content, some of the things you can find in this Memorandum of Association. Number 1, the name of the company, the registered office of the company, the objectives of the company, the names of the founder of the company, and the number of shares taken up by them. We also have the amount of authorized capital and the various shares into which it is divided. So these are the contents you can find in the Memorandum of Association. So once it is registered, it becomes a public document. Now let's look at Article of Association. This is like an opposite of Memorandum of Association. Now, while Memorandum of Associations, has to do with how a company relates with the outsider, Article of Association is much more concerned about the rules and regulations governing the rights, powers, and duties of the management, those that are concerned with the managing of the organization. Okay, it says where there is conflict between the two documents, the Memorandum of Association will prevail. So the contents that you can find in an Article of Association: number 1, the method of issue of capital, the method of holding meetings, the right of shareholders, how directors are to be elected, method of sharing dividend, and lastly, the method of audit. So these are the contents of Article of Association. Then we have the prospectus. Prospectus is an invitation to the public to purchase shares or debentures. It is most often issued by public limited companies. Public limited companies allow the public to subscribe to its shares. Okay, now if they are to invite the general public to purchase the shares, they do that using the prospectus. Now, talking about shares, shares happens to be one of the ways in which these companies can raise their capital, maybe for expansion. So they do this using the prospectus. As we go further, we get to have more knowledge about shares. Then talking about some of the contents you can find in prospectus. Particulars of the company's past history. Now, it is very important, it is pertinent here that for an investor, anyone that wants to invest into the share of a company, to have a very good knowledge of how this company has been operating in time past, to know if to measure its performance. So it is very, very important, because as a wise investor, you would not want to invest your money into where you will not get return on your investment. So information about the present position and future prospects. Now let me put it this way. In the last class, I made mention of the fact that these companies, they publish their accounts. Okay, they publish their account. Now this gives the public a very good idea about their account, to know if the company is bankrupt, to know what they have in their account. So this information is very, very important. So, and by so doing, it can help you predict if you are to invest in this company, if you are going to get your return on your investment. So these are very, very important. So the amount of capital offered for subscription, which is the money, that the capital that the company wants to get from the public through shares. The number of founders shares, that is those that found the company. There are shares that, the number of people that are actually involved in the formation of the company through shares. The amount payable on application and allotment of each shares. Okay, let's look at certificate of incorporation. Now, talking about this very document, it's a document that confers the company a legal status. Now, this company is what makes it this document is what makes the company an artificial person, or what confers it that title, a legal status. A legal entity which can sue and be sued. This is what this document empowers the company to be known as a legal entity or an artificial person. So in this case, the company can sue as well as be sued. So this document empowers it. Now it contains the name of the company, the registration number, and signature of the registrar. So this is one of the part of the content of this very document. Now it says section 37 of the Companies Act contains. Now Companies Act by Act of Parliament, so it contains right of the company to own properties which are separated from members. Now remember, this company as a legal entity or an artificial person is distinct from the owners. It can stand on its own. It can continue to exist whether a member chooses to withdraw or whether a member dies or not. It can continue to exist. So when it comes to acquisition of properties, the company name can be used to acquire properties separate from the members. It's just like the company itself investing. Okay, now we have rights of perpetual existence, which is to say the company can exist irrespective of what happens. Whether a member withdraws or a member dies, the company can continue to exist. Right to sue and be sued. Yes, sometimes people might have issues with the company. So this is rights, can as well enable the company to sue just in case they have problem with external or the outsiders. The company can as well be sued if the outsiders have issues with the company. The right to transfer shares, yes, you can transfer shares from, let's say, as a shareholder of the company, and maybe for some reason best known to you, you want to sell your shares. Yes, you have the right to sell your shares under this Companies Act. Then limited liability, I've explained that in the last class where I said that when a company go bankrupt or runs into debt, the debt of the company is only the individual member of that company. Okay, the debt of the company is only limited to the initial deposits or the initial capital or shares of the individual member of the company. They cannot go beyond the company's assets in order to pay back their creditor. Okay, they can borrow, the right to borrow. This act empowers them to borrow. Now we have certificate of trading. Now, having gotten those documents mentioned, those first three documents, the article of association, the memorandum of association, and certificate of incorporation, then we have this certificate of trading. Now, this is a document which allows the company to commence business activities. Now, without this document, it becomes very difficult for the company to commence business activities. On the other hand, the private company can commence business without the certificate of trading. So this is mostly for public limited company, because this company is known as a company that is owned by the public. Now let's look at shares, the brief definition of shares. A share can be defined as the individual portion of the company's capital owned by a shareholder. It is the interest which a shareholder has in the company. If, for instance, Nestle PLC want to expand and they need, let's say, 10 billion naira. Now, one of the way they can get more of their capitals or this 10 billion naira is by issuing shares to the public using that prospectus. Now, once it has been issued to the very public, what will happen here is that those who are interested will definitely contribute their own form of capital. By so doing, they become a shareholder. They become part of the owners of the company. So shares is what empowers one to be a member of a company, even if you are not among the original founder of that very business. Okay, so this is what shares empowers or enable one to do. So it is an individual portion of the company. So if, for instance, given that 10 billion naira of Nestle PLC and you're able to buy like 100 million out of that 10 billion, that 100 million is your contribution to that company and is what empowers you and entitles you to be part of the owner of this very company. Then we have share certificates. Certificates, as it is an evidence of share allotment to the shareholder. So once you have purchased the share of a company, you will be issued a certificate which entitles you to become a shareholder of this company. Then we have right of shareholders. As a shareholders, what are the rights? What are your rights? Right to vote at meeting, right to dividends. Right to dividends here implies the benefits, okay, just like the interests, okay, of your investment. The dividend is mostly on interest on your investment, which is benefit you derive as a result of investing in that company. Right to receive notice of general meeting, then right to participate in the distribution of assets in the event of winding up. Winding up here has to do with when a company tries to shut down. Then classes of shares, we have a few of them. We have the preference share. Now, but as I said earlier, you know, I made mention of Nestle Milo. Now, today that company is owned, Nestle PS, so to say, is owned by the general public. But we have the original founder of that very business. Now, what happened here is that the original founder of that very business, they are the risk bearer. They manage the business. But when it comes to expand, when the company wanted to expand, they issue shares to the very public. Now, this public that buy the shares of this company, such shares can be regarded as preference share. Now, the reason is that this share is actually giving preference. They are usually, they get the shareholder of this share, so to say, they usually get their dividend first before the ordinary dividend, which we'll be looking at. So preference share, this is the type of share that has priority in terms of dividend payment and repayment of capital in the event of winding up. So the preference shareholder, they are usually considered before any other shareholders of the company. So we have the features, which is preference share have no voting rights. They do not have a voting rights. They have fixed rate of interest, what they stand to benefit, okay, given their investment. Holders receive dividends before others. Yes, they get their benefits before others. Then they are entitled to capital first at winding up. Just in case the company want to shut down, they will be entitled to their capital first before the rest. Then we have ordinary shares, which is like the opposite of preference share. The preference share, I told you, it has to do with those who later became a shareholder or the owner of the company as a result of the fact that they purchased shares. Ordinary shareholders, also known as equity, the ordinary shareholders are the original owners of the business. So the original owner of the business, the shares they own is known as the ordinary shares or equities. Here, this set of people, they have the right to vote and be voted for, and they do not have fixed rate of interest. They bear the risk of the business. They are into the management and day-to-day running of the business. We have underwriting shares. Now, Sometimes when this company issue out shares to the general public, there is that possibility that the public may not subscribe to the entire share. Okay, they might not have, or they might not subscribe to the entire share. Now we have the underwriter. The underwriter here is one person who agrees to take a specified number of shares in case not subscribed by the public. Okay, now we have the financial institutions who take part or whole of the shares issued if not fully subscribed to by the public. Now when this company issue out shares and there are some left that are not being subscribed to by the general public, so you have the financial institution, for instance, coming to be part of these companies. Now an underwriter gets underwriting commission, so the benefit they get in this case is known as the underwriting commission. Now let's look at stock. Stock is a collection of shares, is a bundle of shares. Okay, now shares is an individual unit of a company, but while stock is a collection of shares, it can be transferred in financial amount. The stock are not issued but converted from shares issued. So stocks, they are actually gotten from shares. Debenture. Debenture is a certificate of indebtedness. Now, apart from shares and stock, which are one of the ways that its company can raise capital, debenture is one of them. This is the form of borrowing, but in this case, a certificate is issued to that person that gives out the loan, okay, that borrows the money. So it acknowledge and it has the company's seals. It acknowledge that an individual is entitled to a certain fixed rate of interest. Okay, so holders cannot share from the profit of the company. They cannot share from the profit of the company, rather they get their interest back. Now let's see the difference between shares and stock. It's very brief. It says shares are the smallest unit of a single company. Stock are the collection of shares of multiple companies. Yes, remember, stock is a collection of shares, so it can be from multiple companies. Shares are issued from shares, while stock are converted issues. Yes, stocks are often converted, unlike shares. Shares are the owner of the company, while stock are the ownership of the companies. You see the difference? It's just in terms of numbers. Shares may be partly paid and stock is always fully paid. Then merger, now the coming together of company to just form one big company, okay, is what we can simply refer to as a merger. In this case, they tend to lose their old identity and then they come up with a new name. Now, there are reasons for this. Sometimes it can be for competition purpose, either to expand, whether to diversify. Okay. Now, when a company diversify, it means that the company is trying to engage in different line of business or trying to produce more than one kind of product or offer more than one kind of service. So this is when we can say that a company has actually merged. And sometimes maybe to just raise capital, they might have some kind of financial challenges, and in order to beat this, company might come together then to form one singular entity. This is what merger is about. Then we have liquidation or winding up. This is when a company cease to exist, or a company is trying to shut down. Okay, they said it is the process of bringing the existence of a company to an end. Now for a company to wind up, it has to go through some process. It is not something that is just done easily. Okay, the reason being that we have those that were involved in the formation of that company, so they have to see how they can actually wind up in such a way that both every party is involved. Okay, they will definitely get what they have contributed to the formation of the business. There are reasons why company may want to wind up. There are many reasons. Maybe number one, maybe the company, the financial position of that company is no longer strong, or maybe it has gone bankrupt. Then let's say there are possibilities that the company is owing debts, or maybe the company is being mandated by the courts to cease its operations. So there are many reasons why companies would want to wind up. Okay, this is where we'll end into this class. So I have an assignment here for us. The first here is to state three difference between ordinary shares and preference shares. Then explain the reasons for winding up of a company. Thank you very much for your attention. You can submit your assignment using the Google Classroom. And in case you have any question, go through this work. In case you have any question, when we meet in the Zoom class, okay, I will attend to your question. Thank you very much. Do stay safe. God bless you.